Listen, friends, yesterday the heat absolutely obliterated my hair. So needless to say, I'll be rocking two little piggies with a little scraggly for the rest of the week, at least until Thursday. So now that we've got the elephant out of the room, we can move on into our video. I mean, look, something else is happening. Good people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tonya Felice, and here on this channel, we chat about all things fragrance, beauty, love, life, and whatever else I decide to chat with you about. Today, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we'll be diving into the new fragrance release, the much anticipated fragrance release by Parfum de Marly's Oriana. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then you should definitely continue watching. Now, a bit different from my other videos, I really want to talk a little bit about the two perfumers behind this fragrance. So we have Natalie Lorson as well as Hamid Kashani. Now, both of these perfumers have created several different fragrances, or either they have co-collaborated on fragrances that are absolutely perfect. When you think about the Parfum de Marly fragrance line, the fragrances that they've created are Darcy, Pegasus, Layton, Meliora. Those are some of the fragrances that they've created, but outside of Parfum de Marly, they are responsible for fragrances such as Black Opium, Parfum de Roses from Lancome, Another 13, and which is one of my absolute favorites from Le Labo. You have Oud Rose Intense by Fragrance du Bois, and then you also have Scandal Gold. So they are responsible for several fragrances that we all know and love. So I wanted to dive into those perfumes that they created because I wanted to know a little bit about what I could be expecting with Miss Oriana. So in my research, I noticed that Parfum de Marly describes this fragrance as a gourmand, fruity, floral, soft, sensual type of scent. Can I agree with that? Absolutely. You definitely get the gourmand in the opening. You definitely get a fruity, floral type vibe. It is soft. It is a little bit sensual. It is a cocoon of cashmere, if you will. Your softest cashmere, something that you might want to pull out in the fall when walking through apple orchards, what have you. That's the type of vibe I really do get from this fragrance. So what I will say is that when I first opened my box, after I got over the fact that it was a beautiful bottle and that I absolutely loved it, of course, I wanted to know, what is this fragrance going to be? So before I tell you that, I want to give you the notes. So some of the notes are grapefruit, you have mandarin orange, you have bergamot, and that is in the top. In the mid, you have raspberry, we have orange blossom, and we have black currant. In the dry down, we have ambrette, we have marshmallow, and we have musk. Now, I was expecting something a little fruity, something a little sweet, and something sensual. Did we get that? I'm kind of in the middle, and the more I spray the fragrance, I keep grasping different things. So that's why I'm going to keep this as a first impression, because I will come back and follow up on this fragrance in a few weeks. But as for today, on first spray, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to go ahead and do another spray with you guys. I'm going to put it right here on my pulse points, and I'm going to just let it sit for a while. On first spray. For me, on first spray, the first time I sprayed it, I immediately got a burst of something sweet. I think it was more so of the marshmallows, some of the orange blossoms, and I was at my computer table and I slouched back and I said, oh my God, this smells so good. Then I sat back up, I continued to work on my computer, and I noticed that the fragrance started to immediately morph from what was sweet and a little bit fruity, and even as I'm smelling it now, a little bit delectable. It started to morph into something that was a bit powdery for me. Something else that kind of took shape for me as I was wearing this fragrance was the raspberry and black currant. And I say this because it almost reminds me of the black currant that peeks through from Tiffany Rose Gold. little bit of a citrus, just slightly like a little tartness that's there. And I would say that it's probably coming from the raspberry and the black currant. It is not prominent at all, but as the fragrance starts to take shape, you can get slight vibes of the black currant as well as the raspberry. So I will say that there are fruits that are there. I'll say that that orange blossom and the marshmallow vibes in the beginning definitely push through, but in the dry down, the musk is stealing the absolute show. And what I'm smelling after about 2 to 3 minutes reminds me of none other than Narciso Poudre. If you've ever smelled Narciso Poudre, as this fragrance starts to take shape and dry down, that is the type of fragrance that I am immediately reminded of. So I was speaking with one of my fragrance friends and she said, hey, tell me, what do you think about this? She said, I'm hearing people say that this smells like Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. And I thought to myself and I shared it with her, that's not what I got initially. When I sprayed it a second time, I said, that first initial spray and that love that I got when I first sprayed it, and I told you I kind of sunk into my computer, it was vibes of Love Don't Be Shy for me, but I'll say the more so of the extreme version. It kind of gave me that type of vibe, even so much so that I also thought about the sample of Centra by Memo that I have, and I said, kind of in that ballpark. Now, am I going to tell you that it's duping with either of those two? Not for me. I still stand strong to this smells like a Narciso Poudre type of fragrance. So as it starts to melt into my skin, it turns into something that's more so a little bit sensual, a little bit seductive. It is a little bit fruity, but with the fruits, I will say that the marshmallows and the orange and a little bit of vanilla starts to kind of push through. But as I was wearing this fragrance, my mind only took me to the muskiness of this. So for me, I sat there for a minute because I don't like Narciso Poudre. And I thought to myself, this will be a favorite of a lot of women because I know a lot of women who fancy fragrances such as Narciso Poudre. This is one that after the second spray and the third spray, I said, okay, my Love Don't Be Shy is here. Maybe my Centra is here, but then it's going to go ahead and dissipate. And when it dissipates, what I'm left with, can I be happy with it? So I'm kind of on the fence with it. I think that most people will think that this is a pretty fragrance. I think that this is one that is definitely safe for every day. I think that this is definitely one that might be perfect for Netflix and chill, a soft date night, right? It is not beast mode. It's not anything that's going to take you out, hit you over the head, or step into the room and make a presence before you do. This is one of those fragrances that I deem as I feel pretty, so pretty, that type of vibe. Something else that I wanted to share with you is that if I had to think about whether or not I would rush out to pick this one up, I would say I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure that this is something that I would be running to pick up because for me, I was looking for something that would be a head turner, something that would casually walk me into fall and maybe into winter. And I can't quite certain say that I've picked that up from this fragrance. There again, I will say that this is a very much so likable fragrance. If you like feminine, fruity, powdery scents, then this may be for you. Will I say that I feel like this is one of the best from Parfum de Marly? I wouldn't say so. Now, in terms of compliment factor, I put this fragrance on and I went over to my husband because I always like to kind of hear his thoughts and his feedback. And I let him smell it when I first sprayed it. So I let him smell it at first. And as I got close to him, he immediately said, yeah, you smell good. That smells good. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to come back in a few minutes and see what you think. So he kind of looked at me like, you don't like it? And I just kind of skedaddled on about my way. But I came back about 5 minutes later and I let him smell the fragrance again. He said, yeah, I like it. I mean, he continued to smell my arms and smell on up my arm, my inner arm. And he said, I like it. It smells really good. So as I walked away, another fragrance came to mind. And you know what it was? Hypnotic Poison. Now, hear me when I say they don't smell nothing alike, but this type of musky, little bit powdery dry down that Hypnotic Poison brings forth on my skin puts me in the mind of the type of dry down that Oriana brings on my skin as well. If you are that type of person that loves the fragrance for the opening and then you get to the bottom and you expect it to be the same, this is not going to be it for you. But if you're okay with the opening smelling a certain way and then the fragrance morphing into something else, then this may be one that you want to try. Is this a safe blind buy? I can say yes. Now, there's a difference. Is it a safe blind buy? I would say yes. Is this one that you need to run out and blind buy? I'm going to say no. Hit the like button if you understand the difference between those two, because it is a difference. For Tonya, would I go run out and buy this right now? Well, I did, but I love the bottle and I have different reasons for it. But no, is this one that I would tell a friend, girl, this is sexy, honey. If you're looking for a man killer, if you're looking for a hot date night fragrance, you're going to a ball, you want something classy, sophisticated, you want Netflix and chill, you want date night, you're gonna cuddle up, you might put on a cute little blazer, cute little jeans, yeah, putting on a cute little dress, cute little pump, cute little sandals, yeah, I can see that. You doing your everyday out and about? Yeah, I can see that. This is the type of fragrance this is to me. So does it lean a little bit masculine or feminine or right in the both with unisex? I'm going to say that for me, this is a very much so feminine type of scent. Now, because of the dry down, because of the musky, powdery aspect at the end, some might find it to be a little bit unisex, but as for me, I would definitely say that this is dead on a feminine type of fragrance. In terms of the time of year that you may want to wear this fragrance, I would definitely say that this is one that I could wear in the spring. This is something I may want to wear in the fall. In the heat of the summer, I can't say that I would want to smell this. When it's really, really cold, I would be interested in wondering about how well it would project. It would be it's becoming quite soft, but you still can smell the muskiness there. This is one that I would take and reapply just to get that initial opening, right? And I feel like if I really wanted to do that, if I already had a Love Don't Be Shy, if I already had Narciso Poudre in my collection, I don't know if I would be running to pick this up either. Unless you want the beautiful bottle, unless you want the experience, then by all means, you could go and grab this scent. But that's all for this fragrance, guys. Let me know if you've got your nose on this scent. Let me know what your first impressions were. Let me know whether or not you feel like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and blind buy this because I'm thinking that this might be something I may love. Or if you're thinking, I think I'm going to wait and get a whiff of it first before I jump off the deep end and make that purchase. That's all for now. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Itsperfectlypeachy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye now. Let's stay connected on Instagram at Itsperfectlypeachy.